Golden State is no stranger to chaos. They've made dynastic runs on the back of improbable comebacks and turned near blowouts into banner moments. But in Game 5, with a first-round series against the Rockets hanging in the balance, the Warriors didn't mount a run. They made a phone call to Game 6. Trailing by 27 at the half, Golden State returned from the locker room not to adjust, not to inspire, but to implement a plan they'd already agreed to. That's what made this moment so rare, a quiet halftime conversation between Steve Kerr and Draymond Green that led to one of the most preemptive white flags in recent playoff history. "I wasn't going to chase this game, obviously, with Game 6 coming up in 48 hours, Kerr told reporters post-game. Talked to Draymond. I said, "What do you think?" He said, "5 minutes." So, we gave the starters the first 5 or 6 minutes. Unless we made a huge run, we kind of had in mind that we would pull the plug, and that's exactly what they did. With more than 18 minutes left on the clock, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green took their final bows for the night, not because of foul trouble, not because the game was mathematically over, but because the coaching staff and locker room leaders had decided to prioritize rest and readiness for the next one. Draymond confirmed the halftime calculation. "Yo, I don't think we should chase it," he recalled. "We'll give it 5, 6 minutes. If we can't turn it fast, pull the plug." This wasn't tactical. It was philosophical. It was Kerr and Green, the heartbeat of a franchise built on competitive fire, opting to protect the future rather than contest the present. And that's what made it feel, to many, like a blunder. Because then the bench made it interesting. Golden State's third unit, led by Moses Moody and Kevin Knox, slashed the Rockets' lead down to 15 in the fourth. Ime Udoka reinserted his starters. Kerr didn't budge. And what felt like a strategic timeout started to look more like a missed opportunity. That's when the conversation shifted. From smart rest call to, did the Warriors just hand momentum to Houston? If the first half of Game 5 was an unraveling, the second half became a case study in leadership, how it's exercised, when it's withheld, and what it signals. Steve Kerr's choice to bench his starters wasn't just rare, it revealed a subtle but seismic shift in the Warriors' identity. A team that once dared every improbable comeback now deals in margins, matchups, and managed risk. The decision wasn't made in panic. It was made with clarity. And that's precisely why it stung. Not just because Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler never checked back in, but because their absence spoke volumes. Golden State has long thrived on irrational confidence. This is the same franchise that once turned a 3-1 finals deficit into a near dynasty, that launched from 30 feet before it was popular. Game 5 felt like a departure from that spirit. It wasn't just that the Warriors folded, it was that they folded with time on the clock and stars on the bench. Kerr pointed to the math. "I think at halftime, their effective field goal percentage was 95%. I've never seen that in my life. You're not winning that game." Maybe not. But the decision to sit Curry and Butler while the bench cut the deficit sent an unmistakable message, not just to fans, but to the Rockets. Houston re-engaged.